Good morning, good morning. July the 26th, 2018. We're back.
We're back.
We're back at PN Global News.
Literally.
Yep. Oh my God, we've been gone for about 3 months, so we're trying to get back into the groove of things and educate the listening public and the viewing audience.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Oh my God, a journey. A journey today too.
A journey today.
It's always a journey. It's always a journey.
Beauty comes in getting to the end. This is the first step along the way. Welcome back, Rodney Woods.
Welcome back, Mr. Matt. J. Matt. With our guest here, Miss Sheena Morgan. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me.
Wonderful to have you here this morning, Sheena. And my man, Andrew Nash.
Always good to see you.
DFW Minority Supply Development Council.
Well, good to see y'all back in Frisco, Texas. I know y'all been up and down I-45 all that time, so we're glad to have you back up this way.
Yeah, we're glad to be back up this way too. Believe that going down that 21 weeks in a row doing the show, PN Global News in Houston, Texas. It was a journey,
but it was much needed.
We made it.
But it was much needed. So it was much needed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But today is a wonderful day. We're upright. We're looking at each other, and we're also here to shed some light on minority businesses, that's around the country trying to scale and grow.
It's been a central theme for us for what, 21 weeks?
21 weeks.
Yeah, can you imagine? Remember where we started? One of the first shows we talked
Jessica
about.
Will take me back, though.
We're going to take you back.
Take me back, Jay.
We talked about the importance of being certified as a minority business enterprise. And throughout the archive, definitely go back and review the shows. Good stuff. We talked about the nuance of running business and the ebbs and flows of running a minority-owned business and the importance of governance, accounting, operations, brand, leading with one's ethics. But we've come full circle because today we're going to talk about the state of minority business. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a real good one.
State of about a minority business across the U.S. and international and everything. So we're going to talk about it today.
It's going to be a good one.
Sure. But hey, we definitely want to give shout outs to our partners, Trace McGrady, who's also in Vegas today with his kids playing, I think they're playing a tournament today in Vegas. So we want to make sure to shout out to Mac.
Hall of Famer still ball?
Yeah. He's still balling.
Okay.
He's still doing his thing.
Okay.
We spent a little time with the ESPYs in LA. We had a good time. And we actually had an opportunity to take one of our newest investors, Gwen Concern. She was out there with us in LA. So she had a good time. She's getting a chance to see this thing up close.
Wow.
See what minority business is all about and all that stuff. But also shout out to our partners, Wesley Barnett, Publix.
Can't forget Wesley.
Can't forget Wesley.
Publix family, very important.
Yep, and we have to give honor and thanks to our first investor, Henry Jackson, who passed, months ago, Millennium Steel. I think you might have heard about Millennium Steel, a large minority supplier to Toyota for years. Yeah, for years. About a good $800 million guy. But, he was inspired by what we were doing and was inspirational to me as a mentor also about just teaching me about, business as a whole. So definitely give our honor and thanks to Henry Jackson.
We're continuing his legacy.
Absolutely. So Jesse, we're back. We're back at PN Global News today at July the 26th, 2018. We are back.
These some nice digs. These some nice digs. Really digs. I was just thinking, I said, this is the equivalent to going from a Mazda to a Maserati. It's very nice, very nice. We got to certainly thank the team that supports us.
Absolutely.
Here at Penn.
Absolutely. And you can go ahead and call their names.
I'll call their names.
Let's go, Jesse.
We have to start at the top.
That's at the top.
The glue that binds us all.
There we go.
LaRonda Heitch.
LaRonda Heitch. All right. LaRonda in the house.
When it comes to making sure that we not only deliver and do good, but look good, it has to be Miss Chiquita Tate.
Miss Tate. Miss Chiquita Tate.
Bringing on the young guns and the Robert Woods.
The Robert Woods. Okay.
Making sure that the internet presence and the social media is right with Kay Mill.
Miss Kay Mill.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so certainly want to send shouts out to her. And of course, we can't forget, the fabulous team here at our new studio. Here in Frisco.
In Frisco, Texas.
Unified.
Unified, right here in Frisco, Texas.
And we feel as though
Houston, Texas,
but
Frisco, Texas.
And we feel as though we've been unified today.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all know Jesse finna give us a prayer cloth moment.
No. We're gonna save the humor for later because I know we have some important things to talk about. So.
Nah, man. But today, man, having Andrew and Sheena here to really just expound on their experiences.
Absolutely.
And, minority businesses and what you've actually gone through. And Andrew, you've been certifying business for a long time.
Right.
You actually helped us get certified.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Right. So it's like we just happy and honored to have you guys here today in the studio with us, and hope to have you quite a bit because we got a whole lot of segments to talk about. Getting certified as a minority business and why get certified as a minority business and things like that. So, Andrew. Hey man, pleasure to have you today in the studio with me and J Mac and Sheena.
Hey, it's always great to be here with the Penn team. I think you guys did some great stuff last year with the topics and everything, and I'm all about educating.
Yeah.
Not only do we certify, we advocate, but the other thing is that we help develop.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of things we're going to touch on today, a lot of things that you guys touched on in the past that minority businesses need to hear to get ready because the landscape is changing. The state of minority business is different than it was 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
And we have to do things different. So you have a lot of more players. I think people we're talking about the state of minority business as the corporations are really looking for businesses. Now you have to be ready because as you were growing them, now you have to be prepared to take that helm to come from the sub level to be a prime. So there's some responsibility things that you need to make sure that you do that. I'm sure we're going to talk about that.
Absolutely.
We'll get into that for sure. I mean, and we also got to expound on sometimes about being a prime.
Right.
Being a subcontractor, being a tier 1, being a tier 2. I mean, Sheena, you also now the CEO of your own company.
Yes.
You've seen all this stuff transition into like being a tier 2 to a tier 1 supplier.
Absolutely.
You want to expound on some of that?
Absolutely. It's a challenge, especially when as a business owner, you're not really prepared for that type of capacity. And that has kind of been a key word in the industry now is building capacity and making sure these companies are ready, willing, and able to actually perform. So it's a big learning curve that a lot of MBE companies are not prepared for. The dollar signs look great, but it's how do you get to it? And then how do you maintain it, scale your company so that, you're not out of business after this big contract, So those are some things that I hope, we'll talk about today. And,
we definitely know that if you don't do right, you can lose this business. You can take capital and end up out the game too. So there's a lot of things that we got to cover. But I mean, just being here today, just to really educate the listening audience and the viewing public, just really what this whole minority business game is really about. I mean, Sheena, you, Andrew, you guys have seen so many businesses come through the fold that really say, hey, I really want to be that good, qualified business. What do I do? And what is this certification going to mean for me? That kind of stuff. So, Andrew, you can kind of like shed a little light on what's the importance of really being certified as a minority business.
I think being certified, again, corporations are out looking to do business with minority-owned businesses. They want to make sure they're 51% controlled, owned, and managed by ethnic minority. So I think that's really important. And when you look at the state of minority business now, there's something called the $1 Billion Roundtable.
Yeah,
and
that sounds good. $1 Billion Roundtable. My God, that sounds good.
When I go and present, I say, why don't you join an organization where corporations spend over $24 billion with their suppliers? When you want to be part of that, when you want a piece of that to be ready for that, and that's what MBEs are there. You have the folks that are part, this is our 45th anniversary at the council.
Congratulations.
Yes, wonderful milestone. Wonderful milestone. Absolutely.
And then Toyota, as we talk about, is our 45th signature sponsor.
Yeah.
But they're part of the $1 Billion Roundtable. And if you look at Toyota's culture, they really look for the MBEs. They really look to not only bring them in and do little things, they're growing prime MBEs. They have a lot of folks that are there that are doing some great things on the automotive side.
Yeah.
We look at their manufacturing. Like you said, Millennial Steel for a long time was one of those folks that were there. But Toyota has that commitment, and the other corporations that are around the tables, the AT&Ts, the Verizons, and the other folks, the Vistra Energies, the Atmos, and those folks, they have programs that they're really looking for. And I tell people it's not a handout. You're still going to have to compete. You're still going to have good pricing. You're still going to have to have good service. But there's an avenue for you to come into where you don't have to go through the front door to try to figure out what's going on. They have a person that's there to help you navigate those things. But you still have to compete. And I think even with that, there's still some responsibility that a minority business has to do to be ready to get ready for those contracts. I always talk about in our orientation that you have to have the ABCs. You have to have your accountant, you have to have your banker, and you have to have your counsel. And it's always good to go after the funding before you need it. Because again, if you get a contract and you go afterwards, it's not going to happen. So have those relationships already. If you're forte, if you're not an accountant and you're bringing over $1 million contract, bring in someone that can help you with that. We're going to probably talk about. I see you smiling over there.
I'm jumping at the bit.
About that. But again, as I was telling Sheena earlier, that if the good thing about having counsel, someone is reviewing that contract before you get it to make sure you have the terms. But you need someone to review on your behalf to make sure you can live with those terms. And sometimes we may be quick to get that $1 million contract we signed, and we didn't look at the terms ahead of time. So I think there's some responsibility to being an MBE. Just being certified, getting the stamp doesn't guarantee you business. We tell that at every orientation. It's a tool that you can put in your tool belt, but you're still going to have to do all those other things.
That's very important, because just being certified doesn't guarantee you contract. It does not. So.
One of the questions that I know a number of our viewers are going to want to try and hold on to, and that is, how important is it to have real teeth behind the institutional commitment to not only identifying firms that are certified, but putting processes in place to ensure that once they've been identified, that they have a level playing ground in which to compete.
Right.
Because many times, we have these processes and these frameworks that are not genuine in their intent.
I got to get preach, Justin. Preach.
And I would say some corporations are better than others.
Sure.
Some entities are better than others.
Yeah.
But again, if you go and take Toyota, for example, not only are they going to bring you in, they're going to have opportunities for you to mentor. They're going to have opportunities for you to sit down and make sure you're a great fit for the supply chain, or they're going to find someone else that you can do business with within the network. I think it's important, if you're doing business with a corporation, to find out the lay of the land. There's some homework you're going to have to do too.
Sure.
There's some additional training. If you look at Toyota's culture, you go into their headquarters, it's a different feel. A lot of millennials that are there now, a lot of things that they do are different. Do you have the right certifications? But the most important thing is, are you continuing to grow? Are you investing back into your business? Because again, you're going to look at it. You can't, whatever you start doing, you're not going to end doing it.
Sure.
You got to continuously grow. But I think you want to look for an institution that mentors you. Once you get that contract, you should go back. What else can I do? What other things that I can do to help make this better? The quality. What can we do to increase quality? What can we do to increase presence? Because again, the corporations are invested in you. You're going to do some work, but they're invested in you to get to that point.
I'm so happy that Andrew expounded on Toyota, because we're birthed out of Toyota.
Oh wow! Oh yeah.
Because
pretty important.
That was our biggest client, and that's how really we got here to PN Global News today, to Playbook Investors Network. Because working with Toyota, we learned so much. We were actually the group on the ground scrubbing all the suppliers to make sure they were qualified to do business with Toyota. So we had to understand all those practices, all the just in time and all this other stuff. So it was such a good learning experience for us to be with Toyota for so many years, with Adrian Trimble and John Munson and Gene and all those guys and ladies there. It was a great experience. And I'm still working with Toyota, when we can. We get busy now. We're trying to educate people all over the world right now. But Toyota's still a very important client to us. Yeah. So we understood that they were very good mentors to us, but for us to scale our business to get to where we are today. But seeing you too, you've been out there a long time.
Yeah.
Looking at businesses all over, seeing all type of different business, different industries and stuff, and your experiences. I mean, things that you've seen, you can expound on so much stuff that you've actually seen.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I've seen from my days in certification to my days working for a construction company to now being with a natural gas supplier and also owning my own company. I really had the opportunity to look at it from different viewpoints. And what I can say really is, when you talk about the institutional responsibility behind these programs, you've got to have mentorship, you've got to have all the things that Andrew mentioned, but also you've got to have the buy-in from the top.
Yep. There you go.
And unfortunately for several of us in this industry, there's buy-in from the top, but it's only on paper. It's a nice policy statement.
But no teeth in it.
No teeth in it. So it causes the supplier diversity professionals to try and find ways that we can incorporate businesses into our ecosystem on a longer point. So that I would add to Andrew's point. It's just really from this top level, being able to have that support.
Well, we're going to come back after the break. I'm Rodney Woods at PN Global News, Jesse McRae.
That will be me.
At PN Global News, and we have Sheena and Andrew with us. So we'll be back after the break.
School's over. What's next? Imagine a place where friendly faces say hello. You grab a healthy snack, have fun, and play a little. Imagine a place where you get lost in a book, get help with homework, or learn in the computer lab, where you create something cool. Kids take the stage, and you get some exercise. Imagine a safe place where you hang out with friends. Your voice matters, and someone's always there to listen. A place where you like spending the afternoon, and you can't wait to tell someone all about it. The club is a fun, positive, and safe place to grow. A place to become anything you dream. Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
All right, we're back. We're back at PN Global News. I'm Rodney Woods.
Jesse McRae.
Sheena Morgan.
Andrew Nash.
So we're back. So let's kind of, Jesse, let's kind of take that conversation. Let's get a little deeper into Sheena's business and what she's been doing, now as a CEO of her own company, Lingo.
That's something.
Yes. Well, thank you guys. Lingo is a business consultancy suite, and we really specialize in competitive advantage and competitive business plan development. What I found in my 20 years in this industry.
No, not 20
years. Yes.
You look too young for 20
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you when it started, though.
Let's not go
No.
No.
She was a child prodigy.
No.
There you go. But all too often we jump into our businesses and we can execute technically, but we don't have a very good framework. We don't understand the industry. We don't understand where we stand in the market, the trends of the market. I always use the example, if I was a home builder and I jumped in when it was going bust, that wouldn't have been very smart. I would have been out of business the day I went into business.
Yeah, where's your compass?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I really have taken Lingo and we have focused on educating, informing, and empowering business owners to be much more commercial or able to actually go in when they're looking for investing and really talk about where their company is. Because when investors are looking to invest, they want to know that that return on investment is going to come back.
Absolutely.
And in order for them to do that, they've got to know that you understand where you are in the market. Business plans are not just fluff. And I've seen and talked to some of my counterparts, and the market analysis is really the meat of it. And not so much me handing you a business plan and telling you, there you go, you're good, but you understanding it, and being able to then take that and measure the growth of your company. So.
Yeah, business plan. We talk about that quite a bit.
Yes,
so
we do.
We're gonna get into all that business plans and PPMs.
Yes.
Because there are some investors, they don't really want to see a business plan. They want to see a private placement memorandum. We've talked about that quite a bit, even with our investor pool of investors. But I mean, let's go ahead and let's break this thing down, though. At the end of the day, all businesses are trying to either one thing, gain access to capital or get a contract.
That's right.
Now, if you guys can tell me something different, I'm gonna follow your lead because y'all the subject matter experts. You guys have been in the game a long time. We've been in the game ourselves, but it's at the end of the day, companies are trying to find a way to get to the next level, to grow and scale their business. And you're right. It just seems to your point. There's a lot of things they don't know. Education is key, also, right?
Yes.
So, Andrew, I mean, your experiences with trying to educate businesses to understand what they got to do to get to the next level.
Yeah. I mean, but again, even from our seat, at the council, access to capital for minority businesses is always a challenge. I mean, it's not like you can go in there and get a loan or there's
Can you say it again? I want to make sure that the listening audience and the viewing public understands that it is a challenge
it's a
to
challenge.
gain access to capital.
It's a challenge. I mean, if you talk to minority businesses, that's really what shapes their growth or affects their growth is access to capital.
But not insurmountable.
No.
Let's make sure that we emphasize.
Well, hold up. Now, we keep this show open. we like to really tell the truth. I think Jess already called me the Black Bill Maher. But just expound on that, though.
Yeah.
Well, because I believe that many times, and you may agree with this, that entrepreneurs, they go from the concept that they put on the napkin, and that evolves into the whiteboard session. And then that is somehow made more succinct into a summary or a business plan. But the one ingredient that many times is not articulated is the capital.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you're in front of the investing public in some form of engagement, and you're like a deer in headlights. Then at that point it becomes more, I think, mental than it is real. So this is not insurmountable, but taking the steps to accessing the capital comes back to understanding your industry.
Exactly.
And the metrics that drive the story as to what makes you unique and innovative.
Right.
But then also getting guidance from institutions that say, okay, once you get this stamp, what is it that now creates that distinction of yourself from a risk standpoint? The accountant, the banker, the counsel.
That's it.
So, sir, from that point, speaking to why it goes from being a challenge to being an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, but again, and we know the accounting part is the big. The A is always the problem.
Absolutely.
It's always the issue because as a business owner, we run our business day to day. We know what we do well. As Sheena say, I can build a house. I can go out there and lay it out and read the blueprints and everything, but I may not be good on the financial side. And that's why I say if you're not good there, you're going to need some capital somewhere you're going to need to buy the supplies. You're going to need a line of credit to get you there until you can get that payment, until you can sell that house that you're building or getting there. But there's some things that you have to do. And again, like you say, I think even with the A part, the county, when you go to request these funds, when you go to a bank, when you take that, there's some things you got to have we talked about it early, certified financials, and everybody starts cringing. You mean someone's got to come in and look at it? But yes.
So this is not just debits and credits.
No, this is not debits and credits. This is not just
the T accounts.
Yeah,
you got to open up them books.
You got to open up the books.
You got to see either you're gonna have to have that audit financial, or you're going to have that audit review.
But anyone that's going to invest with you, that's the first thing they're going to want you to do is open up the books. We want to see where you're at because that's going to tell us the story. That's going to give us not only where you're at, but where you've been, where you're trying to go, where's your money floating, but how organized are you? Where those things
and you can't be afraid.
You
can't be afraid to tell people that either A, you hadn't done it right, or I really didn't know how to do this. I know how to run a business, as you said. Like I can build a house. I can't build a house. So, but I'm gonna find somebody who can do it, right? But at the same time, if I didn't know how to do it, I got to be able to tell them I didn't know how to do my finances right. People are like, how can you have a business and don't know how to do finance? A lot of, at least 80% of us don't know finance.
Yeah.
Would y'all agree?
Oh, yeah.
And it's
It's
different.
okay. It's okay, public. It's okay to say you don't know.
Sometimes the
It's
truth
okay.
is inconvenient,
Yeah.
and we get that.
Because it's good when you're by yourself. If you're a sole proprietor or you just starting out and you have 1 or 2 employees, it's easy to write those checks. Now you have 10 employees, you're bringing in $500,000.
Sure.
It's a different set of an accounting.
Sure.
And now when you go out again, having your accounting is going to lead you to the banking. Because if your accounting is not ready, you can't go to the next step. The next step is going to be approaching the bank, and they're going to ask for those things. There's other certifications that you're going to get, like 8A. They want to see, not only your certified financials, but you're going to have to write something to them to say that they can go to the IRS and pull your 3 years of financials down. So again, that the accounting leads into the banking part. When you go approach the bank to get the money, you have to have that.
And keeping it very simple.
Yeah.
What specific snapshots in time would you advise an entrepreneur coming in having to get those books in order? Would it be the income statement? Would it be the balance sheet? Would it be the statement of cash flows?
I mean, as far as what's more important,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think all of them are.
Absolutely.
I think one doesn't work without the other.
Exactly.
All the above.
That's the question. I'm like, is one more important? But again, it depends on what you do. But all those things, you need to have those in order at all times. I mean, because it's important. Your financial history is almost just like this is your credit line.
Yep.
This is your credit score. You have to have all those things in order. Because again, if you go into a bank, they're going to request all those things.
And I think it's critical, even if you are a sole proprietor like myself, you need to go out and kind of put your pragmatic partnerships together. And that's what I tell business owners. You need to have people on your team that know more than you in a particular area. So you need to have your accountant. You need to have your attorney. You need to have a bonding agent, especially if you're in the construction industry. You need to also have a relationship with someone at the bank, not just a bank account. You also need to have maybe someone in that industry that has been in it for a while, that can mentor you through the process, through the ups and downs of the industry and the market. Have those people already in place, even when you are a sole proprietor, and include them as you are sitting down, putting your strategic plans together, so everyone knows what you're trying to do. So when you go out to that institution and you get that contract, not everybody is surprised, and now we're trying to scramble and figure out how we get you in place to get you these audited financials.
Right.
It's important to put this stuff in place in the beginning, so that when you scale your business, you're not running into Andrew and he's telling you, well, I need audited financials, and you're like, wait a minute,
Deer in headlights.
Instead you're like, oh yeah, I've got those,
Right.
That makes for a great segue into counsel, because essentially that's what you're speaking of is the importance of counsel. I'm interested in understanding from your perspective, how invaluable was it to be able to pull from those counsel resources at varying points in time versus just relying upon 2 or 3? Because over the course of how a business ebbs and flows, legal counsel may become more integral versus financial counsel.
Right.
Governance may become more important than trying to all the way measure operational efficiency. So how important was it to be able to leverage various aspects of that counsel and keep them engaged?
Oh, very important. From a supplier diversity standpoint, representing a corporation, using the council to identify not only MBEs, but also subject matter experts in that area that can help companies that are coming in to do work with the corporation. That was critical. Having a council that's more than just a rubber stamp certifying kind of organization just gives me teeth into a program. Now, as a business owner, having that resource right here, being able to be a member of a council or organization that's going to facilitate a pipeline for you, that's critical. I tell business owners all the time, why wouldn't you want to join an organization that's got it all? Especially when you're out here by yourself. So there's a myriad of pros that come with being engaged with a council. So
on that note right there, we want to get ready to take a break. and come back to PN Global News and continue our conversation with Andrew and Sheena. We got a whole lot to cover, and we're going to be here for a long time trying to cover everything and try to give all the answers to the listening public and the viewing audience. But we'll be back after the break. All right, Rodney Woods, J Mac.
In a minute.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
All right, we're back. PN Global News. Man, I'm feeling so good today, even though I do have a cold, so I will say that. It's not contagious. I just got a head cold.
Thank you for the disclaimer, sir.
That's what my voice sounds like, man, right?
Well, you're quite resilient, young man.
All right.
Must be drinking plenty of water, taking your meds.
I took my meds. I stayed up all night long, and I was like, but I can't wait to see Andrew and Sheena the next day. But no, it's interesting though, the things that we do talk about, and we see it on a day-to-day, because we all passionate, all of us here today at PN Global News. We're just passionate about trying to help, business understand what you got to do,
Right.
in order to get to the next level. And it's time out for all the, well, I'm this. No, it's time out. It's time to get it right.
Yeah.
We're really gonna change the game and make a difference. It's time to get your stuff right. And y'all know what I mean by stuff too. Okay,
Yes,
I won't
indeed.
go on and say what I'm gonna say, but y'all know what I
Yeah,
mean.
please, sir. Be ambiguous. Please be ambiguous, okay?
Get it right.
Yeah,
Get it right.
Yeah.
But I mean, even when you want to hire, the SMEs, subject matter experts, it's gonna take money.
Yes.
It's gonna take money to hire Andrew or Sheena or Jesse or a subject matter expert. So you got to get these financial things right, so that you can put the right people on your team. Yeah. And it takes a team to help you scale the business and grow the business. Because, okay, let's just say we wanted to raise money. And we want to raise money. What is the one thing that the investor goes, well, what are you raising money for?
Mm-hmm.
Where is this money going?
Right.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think that if you get this money, it's going to be to hire human capital, meaning people, or to buy equipment. And if you buy equipment, somebody's got to operate the equipment.
Exactly.
Now we call that document sources and uses.
And you're right, and we're
Right.
funny you touch on that. We're doing a CEO Academy for the folks that are certified through the council that's talking about human capital. Vistra Energy, CEO has committed to it. It's a 3-part series. He's gonna come out and at the end, but he's committed his VP of Human Resources to come out and talk to how they hire. So it's 3 parts talking about human capital, interviewing and those techniques when you're looking for folks. But again, like as you say, as your company grows, that's going to become important. Because again, you're not going to just say, I'm going to take this money just to hire somebody. You need to hire the right person. It depends on what you do.
Very
if you're
important.
in advertising, you want to make sure you go out, not only just hire somebody in advertising, you want to make sure you hire right. So things like, being part of the council, that's something that's offered to our folks, being there. Because again, that's important. Not only are we trying to, get you certified and get you the contract, we're trying to make sure you grow.
Yeah.
Not only we want to certify, advocate, develop, and that's what we want to do, take those companies.
So really what you're encouraging our viewers to consider, those that aren't members, and those that are coming back into the fold, is to view this as a partnership opportunity.
Yeah.
That this really is a partnership.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
We are.
The unknown unknown.
I
That's
mean,
right.
someone say, well, Andrew, why are you guys doing the CEO on human? I know how to hire people that's out there. Are you hiring the right people? Because we know it's competitive out there.
Yeah,
it's the turnover. Again, the millennials are looking for something different than the folks who are going for the corner office.
Right.
First I want to just get that corner office, on the thing. Now they don't even want an office. I don't know if I want to bring my dog to work. If I can get off at 2:00, and
that has
you got a cappuccino machine in there. That's the things that are important to me as well as money.
Yeah.
But hiring the right folks is key to any I think, to any business, to the corporations. I mean, when they go out, they do a national search if they're looking for folks. So I think as a business owner, you should do almost the same thing. You want to get the right person in there, you know, not just someone says, okay, you know, I can do this. I can do all this stuff. I don't need the everything person. I need the subject matter. So again, you know, organizations, not only like my organization, there's other organizations out that have, the contractors have different things on blueprint reading and different things, but you want to align yourself with organizations that can help you grow and develop your business.
No, you're right. And I mean, like I said, it's a cost associated with everything.
Yeah.
It's also one thing we all know. It's a risk associated with every
question.
dollar that's deployed to anybody. So it's just, you know, it's just time now to really get it right. You got to hire the right people. You got to get, you know, subject matter experts. You got to get good consulting companies. You know, like Sheena's company.
Yeah.
You know, we got to grow these type of companies to make this thing scale across all 50 states, because businesses need your help. Absolutely need your help. Oh, they need our help too, though.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And we don't mind helping, because the reason we actually built Playbook Investors Network was really because of working with Toyota. And we saw all the challenges that a lot of businesses working with Toyota had come across. They couldn't get to the next level. That's just good, you know, and Toyota's a good company because they wouldn't get rid of you. You know, they'd still mentor you and still push you. And they always push me to do it better, or be more innovative and be creative. That's kind of how we got the pen, you know, Playbook Investors Network, because they push me to be innovative, like Rodney. So you work on all our businesses, you know, kind of scrubbing them and telling them how to do business with it, but what's going to make you better? How can you do something different that's going to, like, really make impactful change? You know, and Adrian and John used to challenge me all the time. I'm like, I'm doing everything I can do right now, you know? But, you know, but just learning that and starting to think outside the box, you know, and understanding what a subject matter expert really was, and all the industries that go along with every business, you know, and how do you participate? How do you find more people in this space right here? And how do we train more millennials, you know, like the Trays of the world, like the Roberts of the world? How do we train those kids to understand what we really do and how we do it? Because it's an entrepreneurial society too.
Yes.
Society's changed, right? Like you say, people want to bring their dogs to work. You know, they want cappuccino. You know, some people want bubblegum machines. You know, some people like Jesse want their Folgers every day.
Every day. Yes, vanity has its place. It does. But that's a great point. And in keeping with the spirit of today's show, the state of minority business, latest statistics from the Census Bureau, I believe, was 2017. I don't think 2018 or 2016. 2017 is still being tallied. That it is estimated that of the 8.25 million documented minority business enterprises, without respect to other demographics, have contributed over $1.3 trillion to the domestic economy.
Now, I think you might need to repeat that number. I don't think people understand 1.3
trillion with
okay.
the T.
That's what a T.
Right. Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's a lot of money.
But don't stop, Jesse.
Yeah. So when we consider that, to Rodney's point earlier, and we all concur, with capital should come counsel.
Right.
With capital should follow the guidance of a bank. With capital, there is a requirement for accounting.
Yeah.
But in all of that, we're creating jobs.
Yeah.
Latest Bureau of Statistics says that minority business created over 7 million of those in 5 key states, including California and Texas.
Yeah.
That's significant. The question is, we consider more at the local level. How important, what are the statistics, and how important is it to see those statistics grow as it relates to this growing minority business presence here in the Lone Star State, and more importantly, here in North Texas?
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone knows small businesses are the economic engine to the economy. You know, minority businesses are a great conduit, because the minority businesses are hiring minorities. You know, they're hiring the folks that are in their neighborhood. They're given opportunities where probably they wouldn't get other opportunities that's there. So here in the North Texas area, you know, we've been blessed to have a lot of the Fortune 500 companies move here. You know, if you look at what the governor's doing. Texas is open for business, and every time we look up, someone is moving here.
Sure.
And again, and harping on Toyota again, I think the last move that, relocating their corporate headquarters here. American Airlines on the Tarrant County side is the largest employer on that side with Lockheed Martin and the folks that are there. But when you have those corporations move here and like a Toyota, they bring folks with them. Saatchi & Saatchi is here, one of their accounting firms, big in California. Toyota was a key
to bring Saatchi here.
Yeah, to bring Saatchi here.
With the advertising
arm. And they were a key player in California. And they thought, you know what, we need to go set up shop in Dallas because they're going to move here. So as companies move here, up in this Frisco area, everything that's going on, not only do corporations bring, but then they look at the impact that's there. And if Toyota looks out, the council has over 800 suppliers that are part of the council, minority business that can do anything from A to Z, But again, here in the North Texas area, a lot of headquarters here, a lot of professional services here. I think Toyota doesn't have manufacturing in the North Texas area. I think Austin and some other places, but it brings not only that minority businesses are strong here. We have a strong council. We have a strong relationship with the corporations that are here, the AT&Ts with a lot of their primes, and Toyota's about to do their big business exchange. But Toyota doesn't only stop at saying, hey, we're going to introduce you to our folks. We're going to bring our primes. There are some other businesses, and they're going to make sure their primes know that the MBEs are here. These are some people that not only we're doing business with, you can do business with too. And I think the other part of that is MBEs got to learn to work together. You may not be able to build out a whole community, so you may have to partner with some folks. And I know that's a whole nother story.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm ready to chime in again. I'm like, Andrew, can you repeat that again? For the listening audience and the viewing public, you have to work together.
We're going to have to work together. It's important that MBEs, as we grow to scale, we're going to need some partners because we were once small and someone gave us an opportunity. And now you're going to have to go back and help some folks out. But again, to do business with Atmos, you may can't do it all by yourself. You may have to partner with someone, or you may not have the experience. You can't go in there. I know when we were doing all the roads, the heavy highway, again, you can build. I can't build from 35 from Austin to Dallas, but I can do a mile. Give me a mile, let me work on that, let me grow. Now give me 2 miles. Let me, you have to get experience and you have to come up under some of those companies that are there. But I think the state of minority business, when corporations are doing well, minority businesses are doing well. And when minority businesses are doing well, they're hiring. Because again, if we look at the statistics, I don't have all of them in front of me, but we do. We have 800 suppliers that do probably $24 billion that corporations spent just with Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's just Dallas-Fort Worth.
And you look at them.
That's a good number to have, $24 billion.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's okay, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's just with the council.
Right.
That's
just
with
MSDC council.
That's just with the Dallas-Fort Worth Minority Supplier Development Council, whose corporation part, they spent $24 billion with just our folks that are here in the North Texas area. And you got to look at that.
And a lot of people don't even have a clue what that means.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? But I mean, like I say, when you're really not informed, you're not educated, you don't understand the whole minority space and why. I mean, it is easy to work with minority business, smaller, a little bit more nimble, willing to move around a lot more than a major corporation. And I think they just got to understand what that really means. You know, you got designations with minority, woman-owned government, LGBTQ. You got all that. You got the Chamber of Commerce. You got every ethnicity from African American, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander. You got the tribes. I mean, we got all, and it's all pulling from the same thing. Yeah. Who's really good? Who's qualified?
Right.
Who can really scale? Who's really willing to partner with Jesse McRae? Partner with Sheena, partner with Andrew to get to the next level. That kind of stuff. So it's
we have some great companies, and we talk about. Conrail. Conrail's working on the Texas Rangers stadium. And they work with the Cowboys. Gerald has done a lot for PepsiCo, but he's grown from a small company to a large company. You don't just go and get on the Rangers, by being a subcontractor.
Wow.
You have to grow. You have to reinvest in your company. You have to have those relationships. Yeah. And you have to have the capital. Capital.
We need capital. So. But we're going to get ready to take a break, and we're going to come back and continue our talks with Sheena Morgan and Andrew Nash, myself, Rodney Woods, and my partner,
JMC.
I knew he was gonna go out with a bang. So we're gonna come back out of the break, all right, and we'll come back and finish this conversation.
It's good stuff.
All right, great.
School's over. What's next? Imagine a place where friendly faces say hello. You grab a healthy snack, have fun, and play a little. Imagine a place where you get lost in a book, get help with homework, or learn in the computer lab, where you create something cool. Kids take the stage, and you get some exercise. Imagine a safe place where you hang out with friends. Your voice matters, and someone's always there to listen. A place where you like spending the afternoon, and you can't wait to tell someone all about it. The club is a fun, positive, and safe place to grow. A place to become anything you dream. Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
We're back at PN Global News. Man, I am so happy to be here today. I really am, because I was really feeling bad last night. I know y'all thought I was going to say something crazy.
No. Yeah, you were feeling kind of bad.
I was feeling kind of bad last night, but I'm here. I'm upright, man. I'm having another opportunity to talk to Andrew and Sheena today about, the state of minority businesses. And Jesse, you and I, we go through this every day with with our teams in other states. We got an aggressive launch that we're doing right now for Playbook Investors Network in 13 states. And we'll be off the ground in 90 days in 13 states.
Okay.
So it's been really aggressive. We're serious. We're passionate about minority businesses and helping them understand how to gain access to capital, and also understand that you got to deploy this money the right way. But
we got to remind them where to go.
We definitely go ahead, Jesse. Get them.
This truly is one of my favorite parts.
This is what we love to do.
It goes like this.
There we go.
www.playbookinvestors with an S network.com. Now we're not going to sing it.
We ain't gonna sing it. We used to sing.
We used to sing it.
We're saying.
We're not going to sing it.
www.playbookinvestors
with an S.
With an S.
Network.com. But all humor aside, they definitely can go there.
One of those Geico commercials.
Yeah, the Geico.
That's it.
What was that? Okay.
And it's the jingle.
It's the jingle.
Never mind the address, it's the
There
jingle.
you go.
But certainly all humor aside, one of the things that we want to make sure is not lost in any of our conversation today, again, is the state of minority business.
Yeah.
And we always talk about metrics, we always talk about data. One of the ones that I know we were talking about before the show is diversity and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
We like to summarize
That's that big
this.
that big D and that big I.
Big I.
That diversity and inclusion. We want to make sure that everybody understands diversity and inclusion.
Because
it means something.
It means something. Because
Yes.
one of the myths,
Yeah.
if you will, is that you can have diversity, but that will equate to subpar performance. Or if you have inclusion, that means that there's less to eat for those that created the opportunity. But there's statistics that would refute that. Latest statistic from the Census Bureau, I think we were all talking, was diversity and inclusion. The corporate commitment to it, I think it went up end of year, calendar year 2016, 10%, and equated to a bottom line profitability of 8%. Now that is significant, because now you are dispelling the myth that diversity means subpar. It's hard to run a profitable enterprise if you're delivering a subpar product. Right. But then we talk about profitability. That means the margins are expanding.
Yep.
Profit, free cash flow throw off, they're expanding. So now the inclusion.
I heard Andrew give us say
So the inclusion. So how important is that statistic as
and
relates
I
to
think
minority business?
and you said that 10% growth with the corporation, and I think what we do at the council, this is what we do. We want to make sure that corporations are seeing the value in MBEs. Before, I don't want to say it seemed like a handout, why? But now corporations are seeing that it's important. And I think Rodney talked a little bit about it, that when you look at an MBE, they can turn on a dime.
Very
creative. They don't have a whole lot of overhead, but they bring value.
Yeah.
And that's the most important. Anytime I talk to an MBE, don't just go there and say, hey, what can I do for you? Tell that corporation about a problem they don't even know they have, that you can bring a solution. And if you attach $1 to it, they're going to listen.
A contributing dollar to the bottom line.
Yeah, to the bottom line. Because again, if you can save me, if I can use you as a minority business enterprise, everything else being the same, everything being equal, but you're going to give me that value.
Yeah.
You're going to go in. And I don't know no MBE that sleeps more than 5 hours. Again, they're always working for you.
Well,
we
know that
very well.
But all that to say, I think the corporations are seeing the value in the MBEs that are there, and MBEs are getting better. MBEs are being more innovative. I talked about Gerald. From being a subcontractor, from doing things from Pepsi building warehouses to now working on the Texas Ranger Stadium. That's huge. That's a different MBE to where I couldn't find anybody. First thing they'll tell you, I can't find anyone that large. I can't find an MBE. Yeah, I mean that was the thing.
You hear quite a bit, and I was actually going to hit Sheena with that. On the corporate side, I mean, when you actually experience businesses, minority businesses, or just any businesses coming into that corporate ladder, do they really know what they're coming for sometimes, or they like, hey, whatever you have, I can do it.
Right. Well, you get both. You get both. And one thing that I have stressed throughout my career to entrepreneurs is try and figure out what it is that the corporation needs. Try and find that niche, that gap that they can't meet, because we're all looking for spin because we've got goals.
Oh, no. Everybody's looking for the spin count.
Yes.
Right? I don't think everybody in the viewing audience understand what that really means.
Right.
When you talk about corporations looking for spin. Let's expound on that, right? That's the diversity and inclusion side. What does spin count mean for a corporation?
When we're looking at it, we are looking at our direct spend, meaning you have a contract with us for some procurement, and we want to count those dollars towards our annual small and diverse business goals.
Right.
That's the key.
There you go.
That is the key.
Now y'all better listen.
So if you can come to me and I can tell you, well, you know what? I can't find an MBE to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And you can pivot your company in a way that can fulfill that need for me, then you've got it. And now that money that I'm spending with you, I'm going to keep spending with you because you're the only one in that segment that can do that for me. And not only am I going to, and it's not going to stop with just that. But now we're going to look at you and we're going to say, how can we grow this company? What else can we do?
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. And for a lot of corporations, supplier diversity is not just what procurement used to mean. We're not trying to get just the lowest bid. We're trying to build a relationship with a small minority business so that we can help grow you.
Well, you better put out your prayer cloth.
Man, I tell you what, I'm about to hand out the offering tray. We're about to run around the studio and start testifying.
But business owners need to be willing to hear that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get so fixed in what we want to do, we're not willing to make that change. And you need to be nimble enough to understand this is an opportunity for you. You may love doing what you do. I might love being a consultant, but I can tell you this, if there's an opportunity that comes along that I can meet, Sheena's going to have to do some reevaluation.
Right.
I'm about to say, wow.
Well, you have to diversify. I mean, I think, once upon a time, we were in IT. IT was a big thing.
Yeah.
Then it came down to staffing. And then every IT company has a staffing element.
Yes, they do.
So we have a lot of staffing agencies out there. And they're like, well, how can I compete? you're going to have to find another place. You have to diversify because there's a lot of staffing agencies that are out there. There's a lot of folks
Gotta
that
be
are
innovative now.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be. But that's what corporations are looking for. You know, if nobody is selling corporations widgets, then you probably want to look in the widget area, you know, and create your market. Because again, if you're just going to go where it's already crowded, you know, may not be a lot of room for success.
You know, I look at that diversity and inclusion side that Jesse brought up, and while with Toyota, Toyota had actually placed one of their leaders on my team, you know, working with Toyota. So that's kind of how I understood the whole diversity and inclusion play, because they were counting spend. But you know, you don't really understand it until you start to see it for real, right? Because you're like, what does that mean? But when you look at the companies that they're counting spend, when they all minority or woman-owned, because they're all in different, you know, different silos. But working with, you know, some of Toyota's executives and understanding that play, I was like, wow. You mean Henry's over here and he's $600 million company, and these other companies over here, they're like $400 million and $200 million companies. I was like, but they were in their own little silos, right? And they were counting all the spend. I was like, man, this is crazy. Then I looked over at a little DIP, diversity and promotion. I was like, man, I'm doing this right here, but I'm in my own little space too, right? But they kept giving me more work, and I continued to scale and continue to grow. And then when they built a plant in Tupelo, Mississippi, they gave us an opportunity. You know, Adrian and John and Gina brought us opportunity where we can get on the ground and actually go scrub all the suppliers that were trying to do business with Toyota. So I saw something then. I was like, wow, I mean companies that do staffing, marketing, advertising, widgets, construction, janitorial, staff. I'm like, this is great. So the things started to evolve. So I always give Toyota credit for giving me the opportunity to open up my mind and say, wow, you mean that we can actually participate in all these different industries that we didn't even know anything about? And that's kind of like why we wanted to bring, you know, the T-Max in the world, Tracy McGrady's and stuff like that to the world, who had a lot of liquidity, and you meet with Tracy as our partner, you know, quite a bit to help them understand that you guys got a lot of liquidity. And y'all can own a lot of these businesses, these silos in your own backyard that could help, with job creation.
Absolutely.
We can hire a lot more people, train a lot of these kids who don't have to be on the corner no more, but they can go get a job and don't have to have their head on the swivel, you know, in the game and that kind of stuff. So it's this thing just transitions so much, you know, this whole minority thing, you know, with businesses and job creation and gaining access to capital. It's real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really real. But this is the fuel to the economy. You know, it's like, what else could we do?
Right.
You know, we just got to turn around, get educated.
Yes, we do.
You know, and understand what this game really is. Even though we have our own children, and you have your son, they don't always understand what we do. You know, and they don't always want to participate in what mom and dad is doing as a business. But you got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing them and try to say, hey, you can really run this company. You could be a multi-million-dollar kid running this business if you just get it right. Just get educated, learn how this stuff works and stuff. You know, so we gotta keep pushing.
Got to keep pushing.
We gotta keep pushing. We gotta keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But we're going to keep on doing this at PN Global News.
Yes,
All right, don't stop.
Yes, we are.
Don't
Yes,
stop.
we are.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
And many thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things that we talk about all the time is how well we deliver our product. How do we add value?
Yes.
And we certainly feel as though we've done that. The biggest part of today's show was making sure that we understood the state of minority business statistically, fundamentally, in terms of your vision, your commitment to excellence, and the institutional commitment to making you successful. We hope that today's show has been just that, a commitment to delivering what it is that you came for, and that's value-added content. Lead with your ethics, run your business, and best of luck to you.
So here at PN Global News, we are so honored, so happy again to have you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Sheena Morgan. Without you guys, you know, we all might be struggling, trying to find the right people to do something with and tell us how to do it.
Right.
We need subject matter experts like you guys. But again, it's a pleasure of being back on the set here at Unify in Frisco, Texas. I said Frisco something, but Frisco, Texas, right? But we're so glad to be back, and we'll see you guys on next week at 10 a.m. at Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and also Roku. So, PN Global News, we'll see you next week at 10 a.m.
Continued success.